Hello YouTube, this is 87 Tech Reviews, and today I'm going to be reviewing the HP ProBook 6455b. To begin with, I'm going to begin with the physical features. I would start with the left side. So the first thing you have is a heat grill vent, or whatever you want to call it. This is when the laptop is working hard, or when the processor is really busy. The heat's going to be coming out of this, and this is where the hot air is going to be coming out of. And to the right of that, you have a display port, two USB 2.0 ports, an eSATA USB 2.0 combo port. So this basically means that you can plug in a USB 2.0 device or an eSATA device. To the right of that, you have your microphone jack, headphone jack, and then an express card reader. To the front, you have your wireless LED indicator, your power standby LED indicator, your charging LED indicator, and your hard drive LED indicator. Lots of LED indicators, but basically all of them are self-explanatory besides the hard drive one. The hard drive just lets you know when it is spinning. And then to the right of that, you have your stereo front-facing speakers. I found these speakers to be not very good, sort of tinny, not too loud, but I'll get into more detail of how they sound later. To begin with, on the right side, you have a DVD CD-ROM reader. And this can be replaced with a secondary hard drive if you would desire. And then to the right of that, you have what they call a media card reader. This is basically where you can just plug things like SD cards and other things like that into here. And below that, you have another USB 2.0 ports. So that is a total of 4 USB 2.0 ports, including the eSATA USB 2.0 port combo. And then you have a 1349A port. I really don't use this, and I'm not really sure what it's used for, but if you have need for this, it is included. And then you have a modem port and a lock switch. On the back, you have your battery, which is removable, and then you have your Ethernet and VGA ports. The VGA port can be used to connect projectors or monitors, and then you have your AC charging port. Next, I'm going on to the back, and on the back you do have that removable battery, which you can remove just by unclipping this right here, and you can just pull it out just like that. And then underneath that, you have your wireless card reader and things like that. Then you have your RAM enclosure, your hard drive enclosure, and some extra vents. I'm going to be talking more about the back and my thoughts of it later, but next I'm going to be talking about the shell of this. I found it to be scratchable, and I really do like the look of it, but I did find another issue of it. It's pretty weak, and I'm afraid I'm going to damage the LCD, and I'll talk about that more in the general usability part of this video also. And I do like the design here. You may not like it, but I personally really do like it. It's sort of a silvery look, and to me, I like it. But yeah, so that's what the shell is like. Next, I'm going to be talking about the display and other things like that around the keyboard. To begin with, you have your power button in the top left corner. Then as you go across, you have sort of quick access buttons, and the first one I didn't find very usable, but the second one I really did find usable, and that is a little button so you can tap it, and it will open your default web browser, which was definitely useful. And then to the right of that, you have your wireless switch, and this is just turn off your Wi-Fi and other things like that. So this can also be pretty useful if you're wanting to save battery. And then to the right of that, you have some lock LED indicators. Then you have your volume controls, so you have mute, less volume, or more volume. And those were also pretty useful, and I do like how they are in this bar, and I do think it looks pretty nice. And then below that, you have your QWERTY keyboard, and I found this keyboard really nice. It's more of just a standard layout keyboard, nothing really special. You have your page up, page down on the right side, if that's the only thing that might be different about this. But I did find this really enjoyable. The keys are nice and tactile and clicky, and it does have a little trackball in the middle. I really didn't find that very useful, but some people do like that. And then below the space bar, you have your sort of your left and right clickers, and that is for your little wheel, or whatever you want to call it. that moves the cursor around the screen. And speaking of this keyboard, it is spill resistant, so it has sort of like a draining system which allows it from damaging internal components. Now I'm obviously not going to be testing this out, but that is something that is included. And below that you have your actual trackpad. I didn't really like this trackpad very much. Number one, because it's really small, and number two, I didn't like that it didn't have two-finger scrolling. I really do enjoy that, like on Macs and things like that. And it did have a scrolling feature with it on the right. There's sort of a sidebar that allows you to scroll up and down. I really didn't find it that useful. It wasn't very accurate and it was hard to use. So the trackpad I was really disappointed in. I normally use this with a mouse because of the trackpad. And but besides that, there is left and right clicks below, which actually are pretty good. And then to the right of that, this is sort of unique. It has a finger scan reader, which you could use to unlock your computer or other things like that. But I never use this, but if that does interest you, they do have it. Now that I'm done pretty much over the general look or the overview of the laptop, I'm going to be talking about my personal opinions and the general use of it. So to begin with, I'm going to be talking about the build quality. So I think this is not bad, but it's definitely not the best. So you're not going to be getting MacBook Pro kind of quality, but it really isn't that terrible. This is a very thick device, as you can see, and it's honestly not that portable. But I'm going to begin with the back on the build quality. I really didn't like the back that much because it has lots of vents and it's not very, I don't know what you call, but just clear. I found that these little tabs on the bottom, which are good to keep it elevated so the air can get in it for the fans and things. But I wish they would have gone with more of a settle version, sort of like the MacBook Pro, so they didn't get caught on things like bags. So I use this and I put it in my bag in and out lots of times, and these things do get caught on my bag. And along with that, other things like these vents and open air ports and all these different things, these also get caught on my bag, and dust and things do get in them. And I wish they would just got more of a simple design on the back without all these different things. These are good because it's a lot easier to upgrade, but I wish they could have made more, possibly like a sliding back or something else that would just work better. The other part that I found that I didn't like about the build quality was the sort of the shell of it. And the only problem I had about this, like I did talk about, was that it was pretty weak. And I noticed that even if there wasn't that much pressure on the back of it, it did give screen distortions. And well, I'm afraid I might damage the LCD, so I really have to be careful about this when putting it in a bag or putting pressure on the top, because it does easily bend. Another thing I noticed, and please take this with a grain of salt because this was used, I did buy this used, and the battery conditions will be totally different, but in just general use, I found that this does not have a very long battery. I could get maybe about an hour and a half on power saving mode, and maybe about 30 minutes on performance mode. So this really, you should always have a power brick with you, or a charger, just because this really does not have very long battery life. The display actually is one thing I didn't talk about at all over the general overview of it and stuff, but this comes in a lot of different variants and things. It comes in different sizes, different resolutions, but mine was 1280 by 720, and I found that the resolution was fine for me. 720p is alright, but the two things I was really disappointed of was the vibrancy and the colors just weren't there. They were pretty dull. There wasn't much contrast. And the other thing that I was really disappointed at was the viewing angles. It says on HP's website that this is an LED display, but I really am starting to think that this is not actually an LED display. And really, I think the main axis that you need to worry about is the vertical axis, because when a laptop, you're normally going to be looking at it straight on, but you might have different viewing angles that you're wanting to look at it, and I found that it's very difficult, especially when two people are looking at it at the same time, to get it angled correctly so both people can actually see the display fine. Now you're probably thinking right now, hold on. On the title, this says it's a gaming laptop, and you pretty much been reviewing it like it's just some regular laptop. And I have been reviewing it like it's some regular laptop, because now I'm going to be talking about the gaming features of this. Now to start off on the gaming part of this, I'm going to be talking about the difference from dedicated graphics and integrated graphics. So I'm going to be saying this a lot, and I just want to be clear, dedicated graphics is basically when it has a dedicated GPU inside. A GPU is a graphics processor unit, and basically that GPUs are really heavily based on graphical performance, which games do use for graphical performance. And so normally gaming machines would have a GPU in it, and that's what sets this laptop apart from just a regular laptop, is because it does have a dedicated GPU. But on the other hand, this is $250, so if you're getting a dedicated GPU, you're gonna have to trade off on something else, and the thing they did trade off was the RAM and the processor. This has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of small. You really won't be able to multitask a lot, especially while doing intensive things like video editing and playing games. And I did find that I could video edit and play games fine, but I could not open something like Google Chrome also on an external display using the VGA port, or else my frame rates would just plummet. Don't expect a whole lot of this, don't expect a whole lot of gaming performance, but I do have a couple of games that I do play. I'm not really into that much of gaming, but I do play a couple of games that I can sort of use as benchmarks for this. Number one, Minecraft. Minecraft is mainly used on the CPU, and this has a dual core, I think 2.3 gigahertz CPU, and dual core is kind of outdated. So Minecraft really doesn't run a whole lot better, actually probably worse than just a regular laptop with integrated graphics. But I did get around 50 to 60 FPS on maybe medium render distance, and the graphics set down to low. In other games though, like an example, RoboCraft, where it's more reliant on the GPU, I found that this laptop actually has an advantage over a laptop with a quad-core processor clocked at 2.3 gigahertz and 6 gigabytes of RAM. And the reason for that is because of the dedicated GPU. So for some games, this will actually have an advantage, and for other games that this will actually have a disadvantage. So it just depends on what games you're going to be playing. If you're really going to be playing a certain game, I would check and see if it's more of a GPU reliant game or if it's more of a CPU reliant game. So now this is the conclusion. I'm just going to be saying this laptop really isn't much of a gaming laptop, but it is unique. The unique thing about it is that it does have that GPU, and if your game really does benefit from a GPU, I would say definitely check this laptop out. If you're wanting a laptop just more of a web browsing laptop, or you want to play games like Minecraft, you probably don't want to get this laptop. The reason for that is you could find laptops that have longer battery life, a much thinner design, and just better all performance for the same price or less of a price. So I would definitely look around before you make a decision on this laptop. Check what game you want to play. I've actually been using this laptop for a whole year now. It's my only computer I have, so I feel like this is a pretty honest review. And I think that if you follow my guidelines and really consider and look around, you're going to be getting the best thing that you can get for your money. This has been 87 Tech Reviews reviewing the HP ProBook 6455b. Thank you for watching. I know this has been a pretty long video. I'm trying a different kind of style of video with more outdoor content. As you can see, this is a hay behind me, so if you want to see more content or get an update every time I do make a video, please subscribe. If you like this video, like it. If you have any questions about this, or you just want to say something or anything, please comment, because I'll respond to pretty much any comment down in the description. So really, if you have any questions like games that this will run on, really check down in the description. Also, about a year ago, I made an unboxing of this device, and it was probably one of the better videos I made back then. And if you want to check that video out, you can. I don't know if this laptop is still on eBay at this point. There probably is other sellers out there. The seller I have probably doesn't sell this anymore, but you could probably look around and find this laptop. I guess this has been 87 Tech Reviews reviewing the HP ProBook 6455b. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.